the first episode of Cooking with Max Power. Today we're going to make Kona Hawaiian burgers. Our Kona Hawaiian burger consists of ground sirloin on a toasted Kaiser roll, along with grilled pineapple, ham, smoked onion marmalade, and Heinz 57 sauce. First came across this in a restaurant called in Drysdale's in Kona, Hawaii. Love the burger, so at this point I'm going to try to recreate it with a little bit of twist since they didn't have the smoked onion marmalade, which is a recipe from Wolfgang Puck's Bistro at MGM in Las Vegas, where the executive chef was nice to send it to me. It'll be posted along with this video, so we hope you like it. First we're going to start out with getting our ingredients out. We've got our ground sirloin that we got today from the market, along with our ham, our smoked marmalade, and of course our pineapples. I like to keep my pineapples chilled even though I bought them today. They seem to stand up on the grill a little bit better unless they are at room temperature. First what we're going to do is go ahead and open up the meat. And of course, with all good things, what we should probably do is make sure everybody sees that we are going to wash our hands, because after all, that's kind of the proper thing to do. So our pans are already heated, and so is our Alfredo Healthy Grill. My mom actually let me borrow this grill, which is now pretty much my grill. Wonderful thing to cook on. So we've got our ground sirloin, and we're going to go ahead and divide it up in a couple pieces here. And since I'm actually going to stuff the burger instead of having the cheese on top, we're going to take a small piece first, and then we're going to go ahead and flatten it out. And it doesn't have to be exactly perfect. And then from there, we're going to take our fresh Tillamook cheddar cheese, and we're going to break it up into some pieces, and we're just going to stick it around inside. Just kind of make it into a little boat here. And since we're going to be nice, we're going to use 1.5 pieces per each one of the burgers. So after we've got the cheese in it, we're going to take a little bit more of our ground sirloin, and again we're going to flatten it out. And we're going to take this piece and we're going to place it over the top once we get it to a good diameter that's going to fit over the top. We try to make it cover the top so that way we can seal the edges. Some cheese is probably going to end up oozing out, but the finished product of this is actually pretty neat the way it all comes together. And I can thank Guy Fieri from Triple D, because a lot of my ideas come from the people that he has had on his show. So we're going to take our burger, and now we're going to form it all up, making sure we get all of the sides closed. And then just keep mashing it together until you have a nice circle. Press it down a little bit. Just remember, it looks like a big burger, but of course you got to realize there's a big hunk of cheddar cheese stuffed in the center of it. I like to put a finger around it, kind of make a little edge to it. You can also feel if any cheese is sticking out on it. Once that's done, we're going to just set that one up. I'm going to let it sit for a minute. And we're going to repeat and do another one just like it, since after all, the cameraman has to eat too. So again, we're going to flatten it out. We're going to take our Tillamook cheese, and we're going to go ahead and place the cheese in the center. And then we're going to go ahead and take a little bit more of the sirloin. Again, we're going to flatten it out. And we're going to blanket it over the top. And then once again, smush it all together. As you can see, it's made pretty much of a nice round patty. I do like to season my meat a little bit, and I like using the Morton's natural seasoning. For people who have a sodium problem, there is quite a bit of sodium in it, but a nice little flip over the top on each one. And then we're going to go ahead and flip it over. And we're just going to put a little more on the other side. And so that we're saving utensils and all that nice stuff, I like to use the bottom piece of what the ground beef came in, or ground sirloin as this case is, and we're going to go ahead and get our cutting board nice and washed up. We don't really want to cross-contaminate anything while we're doing this. So next we're going to go ahead and cut our Kaiser rolls. I'm going to go ahead and get our Kaiser rolls getting toasted, and then we can start the rest of the preparation as we're going. So I like to use my bread knife, and for newbies, bread knife is the one that looks like a giant serrated knife, available at most of your knife kits that you buy at Target, Walmart, what have you, or some of your refiner stores like Williams-Sonoma. So we got these fresh from the bakery this morning, and I'm going to go ahead and choose the poppy seed. Hopefully none of us have drug tests coming up, because we all know the urban legend about poppy seeds. And we go ahead and put our bread up at this point, since we won't need this anymore. When to slice my bread, try to get a good eye on it right in the center, and just hold it from both sides. When it's fresh, it actually kind of wants to bunch up together, but the pan with the butter on it is going to help that. So again, right down the center, eyeball, cut all the way through. From there, we're going to take a little bit of butter, and we're going to lightly spread butter on our Kaiser roll. This will give a nice crisp toast to it. That'll complement the burger with what I like as a crunch. And if my cardiologist is watching this, you should come over and enjoy this. So now that we have that, we've got our hot pan already. I'm going to go ahead and put our buns in so we can start getting a toast on it. And they're going to take a few minutes because I don't like a real hot pan. On my stove, I've got it right now to about a 3. And then I like to give it a little twist. And that helps to get the butter on all the edges of the Kaiser roll. And we'll just watch those for a few minutes. From there, we're going to go ahead and start and put our patties on. So our patties have been sitting for a few minutes. You can usually let them sit a little longer. When you start seeing a little bit of more moisture coming out the top, you know that it's getting kind of close to it. And our grill is set at about medium high because we don't want to cook it real fast because of the cheese in the center. So from there, with those going, I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of my preparation ready to go. Go ahead and put this out into the recycle bin because we're trying to be as green as we can. So like I said, we have our smoked onion marmalade, our ham, and also our pineapple. Once I get ready to flip the meat, at that point is when I'm going to go ahead and put the pineapple on, and then we'll continue with the preparation from there. So now that our meat is going, I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of the preparation going. I'm going to go ahead and take the ham out, and you can be generous with the ham if you want to. A couple nice pieces is pretty much okay. It's pretty thick ham, so about 2 pieces a person. We'll wrap that up and save it for another time. Our burger is starting to get that nice little brown around the bottom part of it. And we're going to wait a little bit and hopefully get a little bit of liquid to come out the top. With the cheese in the center, the liquid doesn't always come up. And I've always learned that when the liquid comes up, that's when it's time to turn it over without having to squish it and push all the juices out. So we also have our nice pineapple. Fresh pineapple is always best when it's in season. So we're going to go ahead and check our bread. We notice it hasn't been quite brown yet. We still have it on a low temperature. I find toasting it slowly gives a better crisp and really keeps more of the flavor into it. So again, I just like to kind of turn them a little bit. And if you're cooking more than 4 at a time, you might want to have 2 pans going, or just cook your buns a couple minutes early. Put them in your toaster oven at about 200 degrees on the warm cycle, and that'll keep them nice and crisp and well, but you don't want to have them dry out. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at the underside of our burger. We got my spatula, my trusty little spatula. And they're starting to look good, but I don't think they're quite ready to turn yet. But we can actually go ahead and get the pineapple on. So like I said, we are going to grill the pineapple. And just put the pineapple on the grill. Gives it a nice little braised flavor to it, and kind of enlightens the juices in them as well. Now again with the smoked onion marmalade, like I said, this recipe came from the MGM Grand Hotel, the executive chef. It's actually a long process for that. It takes a lot of time, 6 to 8 hours to actually cook it down. It's well worth it. You can refrigerate it. I've had it up to, a couple weeks. If you start seeing things grow on it, it's a pretty good chance it's time to go ahead and put it away. So we're still crisping our buns, and I think I'm going to go ahead and flip one of the burgers over at this point. And really it wasn't quite ready yet, and I know that one's not. That's a much bigger burger. But we're just going to let those cook for a little bit while I wash my hands once again. It's always important to keep washing your hands. I should have gloves on, but then again, it's my house. And it's my show. So I'm going to go ahead and turn our burner up here a little bit. Now when we cook on these burgers need to come out just a little bit above medium rare. You really don't want this one rare. For one, the cheese won't have time to melt in the center of it, and also too, it's good to get to, 165 degrees. I forget what the actual look on here. I think I should know these things. Cooked thoroughly. Okay, 160 degrees. So I was right at it. I don't feel so bad at this point. I'll go ahead and put a little more fire on the bottom of the grill. And really there's not a whole lot for me to do at this point except keep eyeballing the bread. These are starting to get nice. I don't know what it is about guys that have to always play with the grill. You should always just leave it alone until you know that it's cooked. And our burgers are going to take a little bit longer than most burgers do, but because of the thickness of them. So I'm just going to step out of frame for a minute and let you enjoy the sizzling sounds of it. So our bun should just be about ready at this point, and as you can see we have a nice golden crisp on the bottom of it. So we're going to go ahead and set these up so we get ready to go ahead and dress them. Whoa, almost had a 5-second roll. Or that's because they are a little bit warm. So we've got tops and bottoms, tops and bottoms. First I'd like to go ahead and take the smoked onion marmalade. I'm going to put a nice genuine helping right over the top of it. This also makes it kind of stick all together. So a nice generous portion on that. And from there we're going to go ahead and set our ham up on the top of it. And our Hawaiian 57 sauce is going to go on the bottom of our bun. Hawaiian 57 is going to help hold the meat onto it, because the charred pineapple will help stick to the ham that is now sticking to the smoked marmalade. So just generously spread it over the top. Now you can add lettuce and other garden varieties if you like to. My personal opinion when it comes to a burger, meat and something else good on it. So we're going to go ahead and flip our burgers again. And as you can kind of hear the inside of them, and so far they have stayed together excellent. And we're going to go ahead and also flip our pineapple, and as you can see the char on it. Looking very nice. You can do a little bit of cleanup here. That'll help speed up at the end of the process when we're done with this one. Now I've seen some restaurants where they like to put the giant steak knife right through the center of it. Haven't decided if I'm going to do that with this one or not. You can either eat this burger whole or you can in fact cut it in half. Cutting it in half is going to make the cheese completely ooze out on it. That's why it's easier to do the guy fieri, eat it like this and just chomp into it and enjoy it. So we got a few more minutes on the burger. Go ahead and turn our pans off since we don't need it anymore. I got a cheese oozer. These are definitely getting close. The cheese is starting to ooze just a little bit, which tells me that it's now heated up enough on the inside that most of the meat should be cooked, and it's probably pretty well close to medium rare to a nice medium. I like mine a little bit more medium rare than other people. If you want to cook it a little slower to get a well to it, I'd go about medium heat at that point. We'll go ahead and take the first patty off. Go ahead and put it onto our bottom bun. We're going to take our pineapple and place it right on top. Go ahead and put a top on it. Now you notice I have not squished, mashed, or at any time pressed down on any of the meat. We'll go ahead and get a nice plate out. We're going to plate this joker up. The other one is a little bit thicker. I'm thinking it is about done. So we're going to go ahead and serve this one up. Again with the pineapple. We're going to go ahead and top it off. This one's the cameraman's. That one's the cameraman's. And this one's mine. And I'm actually going to go ahead and take the first bite to see how it is. And that is a big burger. So that's our John Drysdale Kona Hawaii burger from Kona, Hawaii, made in Florida. We'll come back with another episode at another time. From there, just keep having fun in the kitchen.